Welcome in, everybody, to HTGS Reviews. Welcome into a day that I have been dreading for 5 years, I believe. I am your host, Rob Coakley, joined as always by Dave Wilkins.
I don't know what your problem is. I can't wait for this day.
And Jesse Wilkins.
I've been waiting for this day for a long time.
I have not. I was hoping I would never have to watch this movie again. But here we are because it's another Friday the 13th, and we are up to part 9 of the 12 movies in the franchise. We're getting there, gentlemen. We are.
That's right. Pretty good. Happy Friday the 13th to everybody except for patrons. Happy Friday the 6th.
Happy Friday the 6th, as they say in the biz. But yes, we are reviewing Jason Goes to Hell. They once again name it the Final Friday at some point in this movie, which is the second time they've done this. But why don't you go ahead and give us a synopsis, Dave?
I will do that. Jason Goes to Hell, directed by Adam Marcus, 1993. After being blown away by a team of FBI agents, Jason Voorhees needs to find a way to overcome certain death. When his bloodied remains are sent to the morgue, heart still intact, he's able to hypnotize a coroner and take over his body. After brutally dispatching a couple of FBI agents, he heads back to his favorite stomping grounds, Crystal Lake. Jason commences another teen massacre while a bounty hunter discovers the only way to kill him. So, I actually don't think I've seen this since I watched it sometime in the late 90s. I don't even know if I got all the way through it, but completely forgot about it. Rewatching this was like watching a brand new movie because I had never gone back to it because I just lumped it in with all the stupid Jasons, like Jason Goes to Manhattan and Jason Goes to Outer Space, which is just movies that I just never watched because I just assumed they were garbage. So I got to rewatch this one as if I had never seen it before. And I'm going to tell you something. I had a great time. I had a great time. I thought this movie was a lot of fun. Now, it had major flaws that we'll get into. I'm not going to tell you this was a perfect movie because, of course, it was not.
We know how much you like to give out 5 stars on this show, so it feels like you got one coming in.
No. There's no 5-star rating on this one. I am going to plead my case, but I'll let you guys give your overviews first. But I will say this movie was... I just really had a great time watching it.
Jesse, do you have an overview for us on Jason Goes to Hell?
To start with positive, I mean, like there was a lot of things that were better about this movie than the last Jason movie that we watched. They didn't seem very restricted on the kills. You got some gore, you got some good body horror, you got a different version of Jason. You got like a different story dealing with possession and all these other sorts of elements. But did it work? Not so much. There was a lot of plot holes and a lot of serious errors with this movie. A lot of lazy production errors as well that I thought were absolutely hilarious. I'll start with a couple that end up in like a lot of horror movie trivia these days, which is they misspelled Voorhees multiple times in this movie.
Dude, I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, they misspelled it on the mailbox at the Voorhees house, which if anyone's going to get it right, it's the family. And they misspelled it, I believe, also on his body tag when he was in the morgue. So there was multiple times just pure laziness. Like, what are you doing? This is the name. You got to get it right. So, yeah, there was a couple things like that and some massive issues with the plot and just some real goofy stuff in this movie that we'll get into. But overall, at least the kills were pretty gory and there was some cool stuff that they did with some of the effects and some stuff that really didn't hold up with the effects, like the effects at the end with the lasers and the light beams and nonstop flares that were shooting out of Jason's corpse. Doesn't hold up, but it's fun.
I don't think it's fun. I hate this movie. I've always hated this movie. This is my least favorite Friday the 13th movie. It's so bad. I was rewatching it and I was like, dude, we're still doing this shit with some of these characters. And also, can Jason just be in the fucking movie at some point? Can we actually have Jason Voorhees in this goddamn movie?
Jason killed Jason in this movie. It was awesome.
Oh my God. There's so much that I don't like this movie at all. And I thought that we were all gonna come together and talk about how much we hated this movie. I was not prepared to have to battle about Jason Goes to Hell tonight?
Yeah, you're gonna have to battle because I'm gonna plead my case, and I'm surprised but not surprised that you didn't actually like this one, and it's for a few different reasons. So let me, if you're done with your overview, let me make my case for Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't say anything about the movie in my overview because there's nothing to say about this piece of shit movie. So go ahead.
Okay, so the last several, so to start off, you are allowed to not like this movie. I am not allowed to not like this movie, and I'll tell you why. This will make sense. I have spent the last 6 or 7 movie reviews on Friday the 13th saying it's just the same fucking movie over and over and over again. And I get it. It's Friday the 13th. They have the theme. They're trying to do the thing. But my God, am I sick of watching the same cookie cutter. People go to Crystal Lake. They get, slaughtered one by one over and over. Like, how many times can we make the same movie? And after I watched this and kind of liked it, I'm like, am I on crack? I got to go read some, like, it's got a movie getting killed in the reviews. So I wanted to go read a few of the reviews. And the majority of the reviews, maybe not the majority, but a lot of them were saying this probably would have been good as something that wasn't Friday the 13th because it just didn't fit the mold of Friday the 13th. And I was like, okay, I understand that, but I can't make that argument. I can't sit here and be like, stop making the same movie. And then when they make a different movie, say it would have been good if it was the same movie, because that would be a massive inconsistency. So I thought this was a lot of fun. And I think that they finally did step out of the box and make something different. And I thought it was pretty cool. I love that it was a crossover with the Evil Dead universe. I love that this fits right in with the Evil Dead universe. You had the Necronomicon book. You had the Kandarian dagger that was used in it. And this was used, actually, the director used this crossover to actually backfill a lot of the continuity gaps that we had been seeing and complaining about, which I also thought was cool because the continuity has always been a big negative. And Adam Marcus, the director, at least attempted to backfill those. Now, I love the Evil Dead, and Rob loves Evil Dead, and Friday the 13th Evil Dead mashup, which this movie was fucking great. I was like, this is awesome. This is so much fun. As soon as I saw that Necronomicon book, I'm like, oh shit, this makes sense. So the way Adam Marcus explained it, and I watched a couple interviews with him on this, was Pamela Voorhees discovered the Necronomicon, and she used it to resurrect Jason after he drowned. And this explains his supernatural strength. It explains his resurrection ability and his ability to possess people in this movie. So not only did it set up a cool kind of Evil Dead Deadite crossover with the people that are, basically possessed by Jason, it also backfills a lot of that bullshit that we used to complain about. So that's all positive for me. I love the Deadite Jason just infecting different people, and it was a way to keep things interesting for the viewer. This movie had a perfect runtime. I was following along with it the whole time, like, didn't want it to end. It wasn't like the last 5 or 6 Jason movies where I'm just like watching the clock being like, why won't it end? This was fun, and it had great kills. Really had some awesome kills, from the tent kill where the girl gets sliced in half. I thought that was awesome.
Issue with that scene. So I'm going to let you.
I also have an issue with that scene.
With that scene, you could see where the cut was going to be on the dummy if you pay attention to it. So right before she gets killed, you can already see the injury. You're like, oh, that's where that's going to happen.
Oh, I didn't catch that. My issue with that was he killed her, and then we never saw what happened with the boyfriend. I was like, what's the rest of the scene? What happened? But whatever. There was that one, the cop melting after the possession leaves his body. I thought was a really cool scene. Leslie Jordan getting his face melted off in the Friolator was a great kill. That was fun. There was this movie, I don't know, it was great for these reasons. And I don't want to say great, because there were also some massive negatives. I'm not giving this a 5, probably not even going to get a 4, but it's going to be in that range because I really, really liked the crossover with the Evil Dead. But my major issues, we can get into that unless you guys want to push back on my case for Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah, I think that was pretty coherent, where you wanted a different movie, you got a different movie, you got a crossover there. But I think The only thing left to do is to hop into a lot of the issues that are with this
No,
movie.
no. If you're not going to push back, I'm fucking going to push back a little bit on this because this movie sucks. You just laid out a whole thing about the Necronomicon that doesn't get explained in the movie at all.
They couldn't explain it because they didn't have the rights to Evil Dead.
They did. It was part of Miramax at the time, right?
No.
Oh, well, yeah, because Evil Dead has like weird rights issues on everything. So
yeah, so they could only make subtle Easter egg references, but the crossover makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
but who knew everything, which didn't make perfect sense, was this random bounty hunter.
Okay,
who for some reason.
This is my main negative.
So we agree. So he has this whole theory. He has this idea.
Hang on, Jesse. Let Rob push back on my. He was in the middle of a pushback. Yeah, don't worry. We're going to get into that character because he's my least favorite character in cinematic history.
But one of the better actors in this movie, actually. Nope. Like his performance. I thought his performance was actually pretty good up until he was in the jail cell.
Massive overactor.
Sorry. Before we're going to get super sidetracked. Rob, continue on.
Yeah. So, like, all that shit that you bring up is great, and maybe they got to some of it, and there was a cut of this movie that was like an hour longer. So maybe there was some sort of explanation in that there, but we don't get that in this movie. We get a picture of the book. Like, so we don't know why this is happening. And yeah, it's different 10 movies in, but this is all of a sudden just happening. Like, this is a whole new wrinkle that just comes out of nowhere. That's never happened in a Friday the 13th movie. And it's just like, it draws people in to eat his fucking heart out of nowhere. Like that. I've never seen that until part 9. You got to do some different shit, but this wasn't it, man. This was not it. I want them to try different stuff. They tried different stuff in part 7. They tried using like the girl with the telekinesis. They tried to bring him out of Crystal Lake in part 8 with Jason Goes to Manhattan. That was a budget issue for sure.
Yeah, but the problem with those is like even when they were trying to do things that were different, it was still the same mold.
Yes.
It was still a bunch of people end up at Crystal Lake, which somehow hasn't gained an extremely dangerous reputation. And they think it's just a legend, even though these things just happened, if you look at the timeline, months ago.
Yeah.
Or the previous summer.
But now all of a sudden, everybody knows that Jason exists and the fucking FBI is out there, which, by the way, is insane.
Dude, that's a correction of a past continuity issue that we've complained about. You can't be like, oh, everyone should know about it. Literally, the last movie review we did of Jason Goes to Manhattan, we're like, when Jesse was literally said it, when are they going to just realize that this shit is going on? So they fixed it. They did, and now you're complaining about it.
I'm complaining about it because like we're 9 movies in before they correct it. You can't correct that shit 9 movies in. Like,
yes, you can. It's a different company making the movies now. So they're fixed. They attempted to fix some of the continuity issues. That's a fucking positive, dude.
That's not a continuity fix though, because all the other shit still happened. Like it's just.
How else are you going to fix
you're telling me they're fixing continuity issues when in the scene that she's walking into the house, it's dark, and as she opens the door from the inside view, the fucking sun's in the shot? That's the company that's fixing continuity issues right now?
At no point did I say they fixed it.
Get the fuck out of here with that.
At no point did I say they fixed all of the continuity issues, but they fixed some of the bigger gaps that we had complained about in the past. I just think it's inconsistent to complain about something and then complain when they fix it.
Yeah, sorry about the company that can't even figure out what time of day it is in one shot. Yeah, that's the company I want fixing my continuity issues.
What about the ones that did fix?
So, Dave, I agree with your point, but I also sort of agree with Rob's points, which is, yes, I agree that they're trying to fix the previous errors that they've made, which is making the same movie 9 times or whatever. But did they execute it well? And I think that's Rob's point, is like, sure, they tried to fix it, but they didn't do a good job of it. And to that, I'll agree with. On the premise, I agree with you, Dave. Do I agree that this is a good movie like you do, or that no? I think this movie had way too many flaws. It was way too silly. Nothing really made sense when you look at it.
Hang on. If you got to look through this. So this movie was a mashup of Friday the 13th, Evil Dead, and then you got the little Nightmare on Elm teaser at the end. But if we're now looking at this movie through the lens of Evil Dead, specifically Evil Dead 2, that is a silly movie. So for this to also have that kind of a silly undertone is totally consistent.
I don't think they were going for silly. I don't think they were going for silly undertone at all.
you can't reference Evil Dead 2 and not have it be somewhat not satirical.
Well, no,
but like
the
campy.
things that I find silly about this movie weren't necessarily the direction that they went, whether it's an Evil Dead mashup or whatever. That wasn't where I found silliness. Like, you're not going with, no one's putting a chainsaw on their arm or something like that. Like, that wasn't the direction that they were going at all. It was another rushed movie, I felt, where they missed some major things. Not just the Voorhees misspelling, but let's just start with the beginning of the movie. You have the sting operation where you have this FBI agent who puts herself in way too much danger for a sting operation. But you also have the big issue is, what did Jason just walk by all of these FBI agents who are hiding out in the woods? He doesn't notice the massive lights that they have set up, which would have taken hours, if not days, if not weeks to set up this whole operation. So they're just in his murder forest at Camp Crystal Lake setting all this stuff up, but none of them get murdered. He's not interested in killing any of them. As far as I know, he doesn't care who he kills. Anyone who's there, you're going to die.
Yeah, so opening scene was really stupid. I agree. That's one of my negatives.
Yep. And then we can continue on. So again, it's not the goofiness that gets me. It's the laziness or the poor writing. Why did he shave that guy's mustache?
I don't know.
So he shaves this guy's. It was a really weird scene that I think they probably should have cut.
Yeah.
Because the first guy that he possessed and took over had a mustache. But the next guy, he's got to get rid of that mustache. Why? Why do we shave his face?
The other thing, and now I'm with you, that was the shaving scene was really stupid. So I do, just to reiterate, because I came out in the positive for this movie. There are scenes and things about this movie that I really don't like. Opening scene, one of them, major. I watched the opening scene. I'm like, yep, this movie's going to suck. The shaving scene was really stupid. It was really stupid, but I think he did it because when the first guy that he possessed, the mortician, the guy just ate his heart, right? That's how it started. And then from then on, it was transferred orally, mouth to mouth. So that's the only reason I could think. Again, like, cut that scene. It's stupid. Just do the thing.
That's a good point, Dave.
But also, even
that's
when
a good point. I have to always shave my mustache before I eat. So that's a great point that you bring up.
Well, even in the scene where he drank the blood, he's screaming as he's transforming. There were guards close by. Nobody's going to go check on the guy who's screaming. That was also an inconsistency and kind of stupid. There was a lot of dumb things with this. And then there's also inconsistencies with the possession process. In the appearance that changes. So you get a lot of them, they get like kind of a zombie look, the Evil Dead look, if you will, Deadite look. But for some reason, when he enters Diana, he just emerges as Jason with his clothes. And his hockey mask.
That was explained, though.
Yeah, that could answer that. I mean, just for the sake of making the argument, that was the rebirth of Jason that they were trying to prevent. They're like, we can't let him, he's going to transfer to different people. What we can't do is let him get to his bloodline, because once he transfers into his own bloodline, that's when Jason's reborn.
Right. But
that's why
my bigger issue is, why is Jason reborn with hockey mask?
Well,
he didn't even get the hockey mask until which movie?
Were you looking for like realistic?
It's not even just the hockey mask. It's the jumpsuit and everything.
Yeah.
Right.
He should have reappeared in a torn up waitress outfit that she was wearing.
That would have been great. Yeah, that would have been great. That would have been perfect.
He's just walking in the heels that are exploding around his feet that are too big for him.
But again, like this scene too was also just it felt Evil Dead too. So to push back on Jesse, your point earlier, where you're saying like that wasn't really like Evil Dead 2 campy type stuff happening. This scene absolutely was, where the creature crawls out and is doing the weird little like alien stuff at the end there. That felt like the singing deer scene to me. It was like that level of campy, wacky, gory, Evil Dead type horror.
One of the other notes that I made, remember where they did the cutaway to like American Case File TV and they were airing the episode on it? Did you notice that the photo that they used from the assistant coroner was just a still from the movie from like a couple seasons ago? It's like, how'd you get that picture? Dude, go take an ID picture. Stand the guy against a wall and take a picture for an ID photo. Like, you don't use a picture from the movie.
Yeah. Yep.
Also, the baby, that they were clearly using different babies. There was but it was not even close to the same baby. So there was one scene where the baby had like no hair, and then in the next scene it's just got a full head of hair. You're like, oh, what happened? And then they went back to the baby without hair. You're like, oh, they shaved the baby too.
Yeah, I get why. Yeah, I know, right? I get why you got to do that, but I mean, at least make the babies look the same for sure.
Before I forget, one other issue with the baby. So remember how they built this was like, maybe only parents would pick up on this, but they set up like the cardboard box and put the baby in the cardboard box to take a nap, but they're sitting the baby up. They didn't lay the baby down, and the cardboard box is on a counter.
Yeah.
First of all, cardboard box crib, reckless. Putting that on a counter, completely reckless. Not laying the baby down. You sat the baby up. All that baby is going to do is lean forward and topple off that counter. And you're just going to leave it in the. You're like, all right.
That's why they had to get another baby, Jesse.
Maybe that's why. But there was a note that was left in the crib, and if you remember, they show the note, and then they go back to that scene. I'm kind of jumping around the movie a little bit. They go back to that scene a little bit later, and then she reads the note. If you look at the note the first time, not only does the text change, but the ink color changes. So the note is first written in blue ink, I think with a marker. And the first note I went back and freeze framed it and wrote it down. So the first note said, "I have what you want," and it was in a blue pen. And then if you look at it later on, when she reads the note, it's in black pen, and it says, "I have your baby," and then it's like, "Go to the Voorhees house," or whatever. But the beginning of it completely. Why did you even use a different note? Like, you have the note. You went and rewrote the note, but you didn't write it down the same way, and you used a different pen. Like, it's insane to me. Like just the silly little errors that they made.
Yeah.
So I remember, like, you had to be quick, because I read the note at first. I was like, okay, that's probably important. And then later on, I'm like, hang on, I don't think that's what that said. And then I went back to each frame. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. I mean, like these continuity issues are so minor in comparison to the ones that we've complained about in the past. For me, it's a bigger deal to fix the big ones, even if you make a couple of new little ones that I can certainly forgive.
Here's another fun one. Agent Marcus. She was barefoot when she left the cabin, and then she's showing in that, like, all the same scene, but they're cutting back and forth. Then she's wearing socks, then she's wearing boots. And it's like all different shots. She kept having different footwear as she's going through the woods. That's a wardrobe issue.
Movies hire continuity people to make sure that this shit doesn't happen.
Let's talk about him. Let's talk about the worst character in the history of cinema.
Before, can I start this conversation off just quickly by my favorite quote that he had?
Yes.
He said, I laughed so hard at this. He said, Jason was supposed to drown at the tender age of 11. Sadly, he did not. I was like, what is that quote?
In retrospect.
Yeah.
Now he's murdered like 9 people up to this point or something like that. So
this guy was such a bad character. He was so poorly written. Didn't need him in the movie. The movie didn't need him. That's like, why is he here? You absolutely did not need.
Also, how does he know that to kill Jason, it has to be a bloodline kill?
The theory is he read the Necronomicon book. That's the theory. So
it doesn't explain previous movies where Jason has died to people that aren't in his bloodline.
What?
Well, he never died.
Tommy, whatever his name, killed him, and then he came back. I mean, he's always coming back. That's kind of how these movies go,
That's
right?
the point. Yeah, he wasn't in his bloodline. Therefore, when he killed him, he came back.
Okay.
It is consistent. Either way, you don't need this character. He was very poorly written, goofy actor, overacting like crazy. I definitely don't agree that he was a good acting performance. I think he was actually one of the weaker in a movie that was pretty poorly. I mean, these slashers. I mean, the acting's never really great in them. But
he beat out Tony Todd though for the role, which is crazy. That
is crazy.
The other two people that were up for the role was Tony Todd and the guy that played the guy that ate the heart in the beginning.
Yeah, right. I would be fine if they all lost the role and nobody got it, but that's unfortunately wasn't the case.
Well, what I think your point's valid that like this character makes no sense. So they should have either cut the character or they should have. I think they should have leaned into the character more. Like, and I know the actor wasn't great and everything like that, but it feels like you have a very specific idea for this character, and it feels like it gets lost throughout the movie, and then he just like sort of appears again.
And then he's back. Like, is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy?
Yeah.
Why is his preferred method of payment breaking fingers? What is that? That was the weirdest.
Especially when you're going to go set this guy out on a physical task.
Yeah, like what? Well, that makes no sense. And I'm like, they're going to explain it, and they didn't. What the fuck was that? Why isn't it? That was the weirdest scene in the entire franchise. It was a weird scene.
Yeah, I had to rewind that one. I'm like, why is he? Oh, this is his form of payment. Okay.
Yeah, I had
the
to
bones are their money.
Like all I can think of is like it's this weird like thing where he's seeing if he's strong enough to be able to do the task, but that doesn't make sense.
I was until my fingers were broken.
Also, while we're on this, his handcuffs in Steven's handcuffs while he's in that jail were unreasonably long. Like he could really like spread his arms like this.
Like when he jump roped out of them. You shouldn't be able to do that.
He's like, I have to play the accordion while I'm in here.
Yeah.
Which kill was it? Which kill was it where they grabbed the person by the back of the neck and the person was choking?
Oh, I don't remember.
I think it was early on in the movie, but I'm like, why are they choking?
Oh, it was
it was the back of the neck.
It was the mortician's assistant there.
Yeah. That was a silly one.
Yeah, and then that first kill was like a cutaway kill, and I'm like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
So I thought it was going to be bad, but I thought the kills were really good in this. I thought some of the stronger kills in the franchise were in this movie.
I thought so too, actually. Yep.
I feel like we're getting sidetracked again. Are we going to continue talking about the character of Creighton Duke?
Oh yeah, Captain Exposition Dump.
Yeah, there it is. Yep, that was him.
Yeah. Oh man, the worst. And I guess you kind of, so in a movie where they're doing a lot of backfilling and crossing over with a franchise that they don't have the rights to, then I guess you kind of have to put an exposition dump in there. I guess. I mean, but you could do it better. This was like one of the most poorly executed exposition dumps I've seen possibly ever, because it was just a lot of. Well, I guess to be fair, like our main complaint about exposition dumps is like it always feels like they're talking to us like we're stupid, like we can't figure it out ourselves. We couldn't have figured this one out ourselves, so maybe they had to do it. I don't know. It was just it sucked. It was sucked the way they did it. It sucks. The character sucked.
Well, the character should have been. Do you remember Reggie the Reckless from? I don't remember which part, but it was the younger kid. He liked to make the mask. I think it was part 5 with Tommy. He wore like the red tracksuit. He was the young black kid that was running around the whole movie. He made the mask. And Creighton Duke's like, I have a history with Jason. Make it that character. Mm-hmm. Make it a character from one of the movies. If you're gonna say he has a history with Jason Voorhees, make it that kid grew up and became a bounty hunter to hunt down people like this because of what he went through. It's such an easy fix. Like, so you want some continuity? There you go. It's it takes 2 seconds. My name is whatever, Reggie the Reckless Bounty Hunter or whatever he calls himself. Reckless bounty hunting, or it's so easy. It's such a one-line thing, and that's why he's like a little bit crazy because of PTSD and going through this and that. Like, but you just say that he has a history with him, but we've never seen that history at all, so we don't even know what that history with this character is. And people try to piece it together. It's like, well, we think it might be they killed one of his girlfriends during one of the movies, and you're just like,
and have him say that. Have him say that. Like, why are we coming up with a backstory that they were too lazy to come up with themselves?
Right. So that's another problem with this character. But yeah, I don't think they should have gotten rid of the character But I do think that this character should have had way more of a role and made a lot more sense, because I think there's something there. There's like a slither or something there. They should have shown him going to the house and reading the book, or like finding the book. I don't need to see him reading it, but just show him like investigating the house, and he's the one who finds the book. And then that's why we know all, like, there's so many easy ways to do this.
He was just such a bad character. Every scene that he was in, the coffee shop scene, he was just so over the top, just such a ridiculous, overacted, but also really poorly written, just really bad. Every scene he was in, really big points off for that guy for me.
Yeah. And he, like, if he got the role, he was like, I have to wear, what was it? I think he said he had to wear a cowboy hat or something if he got the role.
Oh, he was another big one. Sorry, if you want to finish that point.
No, that's all.
This was a big one. Remember the scene where she's cleaning up the blood on the carpet?
Mm-hmm.
That was an active murder investigation. You guys are still cleaning it up.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Yeah, that
And then
was
the other one, as you were talking about, Jessica's boyfriend, he had shown up, he was on the phone, he was talking about filming at the Voorhees house or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There was no reason why he should have known that Jessica was related to Jason at all, or had any reason to seek her permission on that.
He's an investigative journalist investigating the case.
Maybe he figured it out. Okay.
Yeah. That was
did he mention that she was related to him?
Yeah, he said to Jason?
Yeah.
I don't know. He mentioned that. No, maybe not. He might not have. He might have. I don't remember.
No, because he mentioned that he was gonna go bang the daughter of the woman that died.
He did bang her.
Oh yeah.
Which was her. But yeah, there was major. And my other issue with this movie was the ending, like the very ending. I thought it was too perfect. I think that they left themselves. I think they sold themselves short with this plot. It could have been a lot cooler, and everything kind of just like wrapped up nicely, which I didn't like. I thought they had a really good opportunity where the boyfriend got possessed. He was basically a deadite, but they could have worked that differently, where they left more time between when he was possessed. Maybe they could have made it so that nobody realized he was possessed at first, which could have left a gap. They didn't have to be explicit about it, but it could have left a gap that when the movie does end, that she could be pregnant with Jason, reincarnate, right? So that could have been a cool, creepy twist ending there, without being explicit about it. But I feel like they blew it, and they just went with the kind of the how to make a horror movie ending, right? Big climax, crescendo, problem solved, twist at the end, which is, fine. But I thought it was a little predictable, and maybe not predictable. I didn't predict big demon hands playing tug of war at the end. I didn't like that. But I just thought the ending was a little bit too it wrapped up exactly the way you'd think it would wrap up for the most part.
I think they actually built out those full demons, and they decided they looked too silly, so that's why they only did the hands.
You might be right about that. The hand still looked very bloated and silly, but
it did. It felt evil. It felt Evil Dead. A
little bit, yeah.
So it was. I didn't hate it, but it was. The ending overall was a negative for me.
So I had never seen this one, but I was a little bummed up because I thought we were actually going to get Jason in hell.
What would that even have been, though? What's he doing down there?
I don't know.
I mean, they lived up to their title. He does go to hell.
He does go to hell.
He does go there. Did you guys like that Kane Hodder plays 3 different characters in this?
I knew he played at least 2. I loved the first one, or technically the second one, I guess, because he was Jason in the beginning when he blew up, and then he was the security guard in the morgue at the end there, which was funny because he was like kind of shitting on Jason.
Yeah.
And then he technically gets killed by Jason, which is funny. I thought that was pretty good. What was the third?
He was the hand of Freddy Krueger in this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. There's some shit at the end. I mean, I get, sure, they're setting up the Freddy versus Jason, but I was like, yeah.
Well, they weren't setting up
I was actually pretty. I was actually pretty. Sorry.
No, I cut you off.
That's okay. I was just going to say I found that to be pretty cool and exciting. I could imagine people in the theaters cheering when that scene happened, because that's kind of an exciting like ending to the movie. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
cool.
No, I can see that. I know they're setting up the thing that never happened, the Freddy versus Jason versus Ash,
Yeah.
which would have been great.
Happened in the comics, though. There is a comic for it. But yeah, Jesse, everybody was cheering for it. And it does, and we don't get Freddy versus Jason for almost 10 years after this.
Mm.
Which is there's even another Friday the 13th movie in between.
Yeah. Don't hold your breath.
I don't have to, because all these movies are out. Luckily for me, I saw this movie today, so I had never seen it before. So I can go watch that movie now. Anyways,
Probably the last time I'll ever watch this one. Like,
No, man.
I miss this one so much.
I'm with both of you on most of your points here, but I would say I had a better time watching this Friday the 13th than many other ones.
Yeah. This is, I'll probably say the first one's still the best, but I mean, this one, if they fix a couple of minor things, this one would be the best in my opinion, just because.
Oh, come on, dude. 3 and 4 are way better than this one.
You could convince me 3 and 4 are the exact same movie.
They're not.
You could, but if you.
One's part 3, one's part 4.
Yeah, that's just the same fucking movie, dude.
They're
And so
not.
is 2, and so is 5, and
They're not
yeah,
the same
so
movie.
is 6, so is 7. 8's different, but it's not.
Should we hop into some ratings?
Yeah, I'll kick it off. I have this one at an even 4 out of 5 stars. I thought massive issues with the character, that one character, and a couple of things that we said. Otherwise, it would be a 4. I mean, I'm sorry. Otherwise, it would be a 5. But it was. I had a blast. That I love the Evil Dead crossover. They finally mixed it up. They fixed some of the major continuity issues that I had a problem with in the past. And I know I'm in the minority because I read the reviews of this movie, and some of them are funny. I don't have them pulled up, but some of the negative reviews were funny.
There is a cult following for this movie now.
Yeah, is there? I'm in. I'm part of it. But there was one review by one of the Bloody Disgusting podcasts, actually, the Horror Queers there, and his review was just
That's the name of their show, by the way, just in case you're guys.
yeah. That's the name of the podcast. His review was it's really, 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 really stupid. He has like actual critic status too. He's a critic. That's his review.
It's not bad. I got this one at a 3.3. Again, it was more enjoyable than some of the other ones. I clearly had my issues with it, but I find these things funny. Another one that I didn't mention because we had moved past it. It was too late to bring it up, but it's never too late to bring it up if you're a person like me, which was in the scene where he's eating the bloody heart. They do a cutaway and then they come back and his watch had disappeared. So clearly someone had told him to take off his watch for the scene, but they didn't bother reshooting it. So that's another fun one. But there's a whole bunch of these little quirky kind of mishaps. I got a lot of them from moviemistakes.com. Some of them are straight from IMDb. And then there's also Friday the 13th fanatics.com. So
I thought you were just watching this movie like a psychopath.
oh no, I had caught a few of them.
pedantic
I had
movie
caught
watcher.
I had caught a few of them, but then I was like, wanted to confirm it because I was like, because off the top of my head, I didn't know how to spell Voorhees, but then they show it later on spelled correct. I'm like, which one is it? Is it 2 O's or 1? Anyways, yeah. So that's my rating on this one. I would probably rewatch it now that I know more about the evil. I obviously recognize the Necronomicon, and now a lot of these other elements to the movie make a little bit more sense. So I would probably rewatch this one just to watch for more of those connections. And now that it makes a little bit more sense for me, I was watching this and I almost texted you like, "Are they ripping off the Evil Dead, or is this something else?"
Kinda.
Yeah. So, yeah. It gets a little bit of a higher rating from me just because it was different than the other ones, which is a nice breath of fresh air.
Well, I'm glad you had it at a solid 4 even, Dave, because I also have it at an even number, and that fucking number is 1. Because this movie sucks. Fucking hate this movie. I've always hated this movie. As soon as it started playing, I was like, I remember that I despise this movie.
Not
And-
to cut in on you, but while you're talking about the opening, did this not drive you nuts when they're like playing a little bit of the movie, then going back to the opening credits with the same stupid music, just replaying over? They did it 43 times. Like you'll get 10 seconds of movie, then cut away to the opening credits again. 10 seconds of movie, boom. And a lot of movies did this, especially at this time with a lot of opening credits. But the way they edited it was infuriating. Sorry, continue.
I don't even know where I was at this point. It's a 1. It sucks. It's terrible. I hate this movie. I hope I never have to fucking watch it again.
I'm going to come up with a reason that you have to watch it again. What I will say about your rating, and usually I argue with you, is I'm actually not going to fault you for your
I thought you were
rating.
going to say fight me. I was like, all right, let's do it.
No, I'm not going to fight you either. I actually understand your rating. I do, because this movie is pretty much universally disliked. And you didn't have the same issues with the series that I had, which was same movie over and over again. You, for whatever reason, don't think it is the same movie over and over again. So you're not married to that inconsistency that it would be if I did.
I get your point about the movie being the same thing over and over again. I think that you just don't need to. All the things that you like about this movie is not explained in this movie, and I think that's my biggest problem. Like if you're gonna actually do that shit, you need to actually explain it, not just show me a 3-second still of the Necronomicon opening a page or two. Like it doesn't work in that sense, because like, do we know that? We know what the Necronomicon is, but you're asking your audience to take way too many leaps and to know too much, and it just fucking doesn't work. And I hate this movie so
Were you
much.
guys a little bit bummed out when he started reading the Necronomicon and then like the floorboard creaked and he got scared? And then he stopped reading it right away and got distracted by something else. I'm like, dude, go back and flip some more pages. This thing looks awesome.
They didn't want to get sued, I think. But yeah, damn it, I just had a point to make about whatever you were just saying, Rob. You just finished on. I don't disagree with you. General audience probably wouldn't pick up on the Evil Dead stuff if they haven't watched Evil Dead as many times as like maybe you and I have. But I picked up on it right away. You should have also. But like as soon as that Necronomicon book, my brain immediately just started like filling in all the blanks. I'm like, oh, these are Deadites. This is because it was so obviously the Necronomicon book from the third Evil Dead movie. So obvious. I guess you can't. That's unmistakable. So I immediately was like, I know what they're doing. And I remembered the whole crossover thing at that point too. I'm like, oh shit, this is the fucking Evil Dead crossover movie.
I feel like they kind of like missed. They missed a major thing they could have had, because the Deadites are on like a hive mind, and if he had created multiple that were all in a hive mind, it could have been like a zombie type
They did
thing.
at the end. Yeah, there were multiple at the end.
Yeah, but then
like
you gotta play the continuity game, Dave. Like, so she had the book when? When does Ash get the book? Is it the same book? Is it a different book? Because it has the same pages. I know there's multiple Necronomicons in continuity, but they don't all look the same. Well, I mean, like they don't all have the same exact shit from what we've seen.
Right. I feel like they took this on with it, maybe it was a bad idea because they didn't have the rights to Evil Dead, so they couldn't talk too much about it. But they could really only do Easter eggs and let the audience fill in the blanks, which is probably not a great strategy for the general audience, which is probably why this movie doesn't get a great rating. But it worked for me because I am an Evil Dead fan, and I am, I know the lore of the Evil Dead. So I was able to fill in the blanks for it. That's why I liked it. And I think that, I am a little surprised that you didn't like it, but I think that your reasons for not liking it are valid. So no points off for you. I won't give you a 1-star rating.
Thank you. I've always hated, but I've also always hated this movie. Like this has always been my least favorite Friday the 13th, and it's like not even close. It's like this one. Obviously, 7 has its problems because of the kills. 8 we just talked about. It's a bad movie, but I have that little bit of, nostalgia for that one. But luckily for me, anyways, I at least enjoy the next ones that are coming to the varying degrees. But I knew we had to get through this one. Let us know what you guys thought of Friday the 13th, Part 9, Jason Goes to Hell. Is it closer to a 4 like Dave? Is it somewhere in the middle like Jesse? Or do you fucking hate it like I fucking hate this movie because it's terrible and it's the worst? And I need a heart again.
I fully expect to get cooked in the comments on this one, and I'm fine with it.
Well, let us know. Cook Dave in the comments. We'll catch you guys next time here at HTGS Reviews. Peace.